Um, People will be surprised to see how billionaires have structured their portfolios. So it's pretty fascinating. We've written it's an actual bestseller, not like a Amazon bestseller, like a USA Today bestseller. We sold thousands of copies last year. Is Invest Like a Billionaire, same name. So Bob and Ben Fraser are two of our partners here, have written that book, and that really goes. That's more of a call it a taking conceptual into some of the tactical of looking at portfolios.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds, and I'm excited to be here today. Have another fantastic guest. He's been doing what he do for 14 years. I'm going to let him tell you everything that he does. But one thing that I love is that he's the data approach that him and his company takes. And I believe that's the driving force of why they're so accurate and able to do what they do at a very, very high level. And so I am so excited to introduce you all to Mr. Mike Sullivant. Mr. Mike, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. No, man, so glad you're here. Thank you for spending some time with us. And listen, I'm the type, I just like to dive in. And so I would love to know what your main focus is these days. I would love a little bit of an origin story, kind of how you got into the space that you are now. We love the hero's journey, man. And then where you are in the world. People love knowing where you are geographically, especially like, hey, he's super close. Maybe we can connect, collaborate. And so what you're up to, what's your main focus, your origin story, and where you are. Mr. Mike, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so based out of Kansas City, our firm's called Aspen Funds. And really what we focus on is macro-driven alternative investments. And so we create fund structures that go after, various real estate assets, oil and gas. We have debt funds, we have credit funds, all sorts of things, but really driven off of macroeconomic data that's informing the buying decisions and the deployment decisions for today. So yeah, what we're into is all sorts of things. We've got a few distinct verticals that we've been operating for 14 years and have kind of a long track record of success with our investors. So we work with a lot of high net worth investors, RIA channels, family offices, fund managers who are kind of raising capital into our funds. So we operate these funds and go after the best buying opportunities today. So we're up to all sorts of stuff, Q. Every day is an opportunity. Every pain point is a two sides of a coin. And so that's really why that macro is looking ahead, so that by the time we're at the right buying time, we've been ready and prepared and capitalized to go take advantage. Yeah, that's what we're up to. And really the origin story is in the wake of the great financial crisis, 2008, kind of into 2012. What kind of that first macro opportunity was a lot of distressed residential mortgages that banks were selling. So kind of the genesis of Aspen was that, and it's created, very, very unique buying opportunities in kind of secondary markets that we've been buying for years and operating. So we kind of become the bank, if you will. And so we've been doing that for a long, long time, working out loans, working with borrowers. We've got a big asset management team that does all that. So that's really where the success started, and it's continued to compound across different assets since that time. But that's in a nutshell, that's where it all started.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for walking us through the journey a little bit. I want to peek into you a little bit just as a person. And I love how you talked about it, as your company, you're kind of looking ahead, looking at opportunities. But I want to peek that just a little bit, right? So, Mike, I have a saying where I say destiny has no wasted moments, right? Meaning no matter what we go through in life, it kind of prepares us for the moments where we are now, right? And so I would love to know through your journey, through your career, through your journey. I know you said you guys been at this for 14 years. Throughout your journey, what has the journey kind of taught you about yourself? Has it taught you like discipline, resilience? Has it helped with kind of like you being innovative, being able to look ahead? Like, what is these moments within the journey taught you about you?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, a great question. I would say you got to be grateful for every moment, even the hard moments, especially the hard moments in a lot of cases, because the lessons learned are invaluable. So even when there's failure, even when there's challenges, those are always opportunities as well. So not just investments, but personal growth and those types of things typically get forged in the fire of difficulty. So yeah, for me, my story kind of rewinding back is when I was in college, I worked my way through college doing property management by accident. I I met my then girlfriend, now wife of over 16 years that I was trying to figure out how to build a life together, and we were just poor college kids, and I needed to find a place to rent and get a place for us when we got married and all these things. So I kind of by accident stumbled into a property management group that ended up hiring me, and it kind of set a course for my career in real estate. So started in property management, worked into kind of large corporate property management early part of my career, and then became an investor. Fast forward now, over 16 years later, been investing, managing, operating investment properties for a long time. And to your question at the beginning, what are the things that shaped me was really taking advantage of the open doors. Life is pretty unpredictable for all of us. We make our plans, and for me, I'm a person of faith, and so my journey there was just following the Lord's calling and walking through the doors that He opened for me. And it's, in my case, a little better to live miraculously, and and it's gone very very well through the years. So I'm just very grateful for all the unknowns and all the the ups and downs that are in between, because it shapes us and builds character.
Man, I love it. It's instantly when you said we make our plans, the scripture came to mind that we make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps, or He determines our outcome, right? And so,
That's true.
I mean, He's gracious that He let us make our little plans. We go ahead and plan it along. But man, the
Right.
end result, He's like, yeah, but this one is on me. I'm going to decide how this thing ends. And so,
That's right.
appreciate you saying that, man. And I love your perspective. Thank you for taking us back, walking us through even your personal journey. And I absolutely love that word gratitude. Last year, my wife and I, we started something different. We started a gratitude jar. And so we would write just, every night, or, periodically, we would write these things, what we were grateful for, in a gratitude jar. And then at the beginning of the year, we brought in the year reading the different things that we was grateful for. And it was amazing to be able to track just how good God has been, like, throughout the year. And
Mhm.
like things you forgot about, you was just like, oh wow. And like when you look back and was like, oh man. So I love the point that you brought out, just being grateful for the journey,
Yeah.
grateful for the friendships. I appreciate that.
Well, you'll have to look into this as a side note, but there's science now that's backing this, is that gratitude is the gateway for joy, and joy in your brain as the starting point rewires your brain. Like they've tested it, they proved it, they scanned it. Like the science is solid, and it all starts with gratitude.
To your absolute point, you're absolutely right. People probably heard me mention this before. Dr. Caroline Leaf, she has a book called Switch on Your Brain. And she's a neuroscientist, but she's also a Christian. And one of her open thesis statements is she say the science is just now catching up to the Bible. And so she literally talks about the rewinding your brain, absolutely what you just said, the gratitude and joy. One of my mentors said, it's hard to be angry and grateful at the same time. And so
true.
I'm like, that's a good point. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, man, I appreciate that. And I thank you for just taking us into just reflection of you, because I tell people all the time, one constant in our businesses is us. You know, the things may fluctuate, money may fluctuate, we may implement new strategies, but the main thing is us. And so sometimes I like taking that reflection just to remind us kind of where we came from, where we are now, and pull on some of the tools that we literally been developing all our life. And sometimes you don't realize how much they play a big role in why you choose what you choose, why you're passionate about what you do, and why, your why is your why. And so again, man, I appreciate that thoughtful answer from you, sir.
Yeah, you bet.
So I would love, man, you talked about hardships within your world. How does adversity look? I'm not sure. Is it, I never know, because so many people got different things that they face daily at the things that they do. So is it like people lying on the application, or like, what are some like adversities that come up sometime that you have to face, based on sometime human interaction or just system interactions?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, I mean, we operate pretty large funds. We've got over $800 million in assets under our management. So there's all sorts of things that can go wrong in the world of real estate and investments. I think the way that we navigate those, and what we kind of firmly believe in, is transparency and communication. I mean, at the end of the day, you can pull certain levers to try and control outcomes, right? But the thing that you can absolutely control is the way that you communicate, navigate with your partners. And so we have about 1,000 high net worth investors that invest with us alongside of us. We put our own money in everything that we invest in. And so, everyone's interests are aligned in that way. And so really how we navigate that is openly and aggressively. So when problems arise, be very aggressive to understand first, like, have we actually identified problems? Then we've got kind of a core team that discusses those problems, and then we go, execute and solve those problems. So it's as simple as that. Not difficulty is different, but it's as simple of a framework as that, and communicate your way through. So the problems in our world typically arise when firms are not communicating with their partners, and they say, hey, everything's good, and then all of a sudden it's not good. And that's a big problem. And so transparency and a desire to care, like actually care. So we've got, I won't go super deep on this, but within our team in particular, we have 11 kind of values of our team. And the first one is care. And the second one is understand that discretionary income is really hard to come by, and to do for one what you wish you could do for many. Like, those are kind of our top three. And really kind of understanding, who it is that we serve, and we really ultimately serve our partners. And communicating through difficulty is really the only way to do that. And then it allows freedom. When things are out on the table and out in the light, just like in life, when things are hiding, that's when the problems compound. And so you got to avoid all that.
Yeah. I love that. It reminds me of a saying I say amongst just like my peers, and even just with my wife, and just the way I lead my life. You only as sick as your secrets, right? So if you're not transparent, if you're not open, if you're not communicating, if you're hiding stuff, that's like a that's like a cancerous cell that just grows and just
100%.
spreads, right? And so that can just corrupt trust. It can corrupt like integrity. And so I love that, man. I love being with communication. I love at the top of the 11 is care, man. That really gives me a peek into the core of what you guys are trying to do. Speaking of what you're trying to do, what are your next goals? Like, what are you guys looking to solve or scale next, or at Aspen?
Yeah. Yeah. We're on our way to $1 billion in assets under management. So that's a big, kind of threshold. And, that's been hard fought, slow won kind of battle. But we've seen a lot of that significant kind of hockey stick growth in the last really kind of 6 years. So you got to be faithful and faithful and faithful and diligent. And then, things do compound, activities and capital compound. So that's really the phase that we're at, is continuing to compound our growth by doing the right things. We've been doing that, even further. We had a record year last year in terms of, capital that we've raised and deployed, over 150 million that we've raised and deployed and across multiple assets. Really, what's next is a continuation of that, but continuation into this kind of macro-driven thesis is finding those right assets and opportunities. So we've got a new fund coming out here next week on the 8th. Is we generally do kind of open-ended structures, open-ended funds that are very unique to the market in terms of the structure of them, that are very investor friendly. So that's a big thing that's focused on multifamily acquisitions. There's been a lot of distress over the last several years in the kind of institutional grade multifamily sector, where a lot of overpaying in the kind of 2019 to 2022, and then we all know what happened in 2022 with rates, and that's created a lot of distress on really good high quality assets, but distress kind of financing situations, and that's creating unique buying opportunities for those that are capitalized to do it. So we're going big. That's going to be one of our biggest allocations this year. We're continuing to grow. We have a commercial real estate credit fund that does preferred equity, mezzanine debt, bridge loans, things like that for multifamily, industrial, retail, medical type of buildings. And so we continue to grow that. So that same thing has been growing for a couple of years, and now it's really starting to scale up even bigger. So that's what we're focused on. There'll be other unique opportunities that pop up. But that's a big driver for us on the macro scale right now, is unique buying windows in multifamily.
Love it, man. I love it. Listen, I want to say this one word to you so I can get your perspective on it, your unique perspective on it. The word relationship. When you hear the
Mm.
word relationship, what comes to mind immediately?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, I would say it ties back to that kind of care value. And there's a certain, I would say the word that like immediately came to my mind was authenticity. So like a real relationship is authentic, and in business, that's not necessarily the case. A lot of times, a lot of folks are transactional. In our business, there's always a temptation to do that. When you're working with investors, is, hey, I want money, and then I disappear, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So a real relationship is authentic and it cares, and so that's what that means to me and my team and how we treat our investors. And so it's without that, it doesn't, that core value doesn't inform the activities of today if that's not there, and then you don't have a real relationship. I suppose you have a relationship, but you have a transactional relationship. And
Yeah.
it's not authentic. They're not a true friend and somebody who actually cares about you.
Yeah. Love it, man. Thank you for that. Yeah. One of my keywords is organic when I'm talking about relationships in any
Great word.
capacity. It,
Great word.
it has to be organic. I don't believe in forcing it. I believe we're supposed to connect with the right people, and so I love it. And authenticity, man, that's a word my mother gave me when I was younger. She gave me a book and she wrote in the book, authenticity, always be authentic. And so I love that. Man, you hit on some keywords: authenticity, communication, care. And so I really appreciate your approach to business and just your approach to life. And I'm so glad you're on this podcast, because I continue to try to let those kind of messages ring out, because we can talk business, we can talk numbers, we can talk strategy, but when it's all said and done, we should be in the business of servitude, of serving people, to make sure we can continue the ecosystem. And I know particularly for you and I, that our savior, that kingdom kind of
Hmm.
teaches, just feel like thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Like if we can create that on earth, it would
Hmm.
make it so much better place. And so I appreciate you saying those type of things, man. I really do. I really
Of
do.
course. Thank you.
Listen, before we get out of here, is there a topic I have not brought up that you would like to talk about? Like, is there any other words of education, inspiration, motivation? Or did you come in here with something on your mind that you want to make sure lands for our viewers? Like, I kind of just want to open it up to you if it's anything like that that you want to say to share to the viewers.
Yeah. I really didn't have an agenda. I was interested to get to know you and have a conversation. It's been, a wonderful conversation. So I appreciate that. In terms of what's interesting to me is really the education elements right now. So your podcast being one of those. We also have a podcast called Invest Like a Billionaire. So, Aspen Funds is kind of our investment firm. We have kind of an educational platform, which is the Invest Like a Billionaire podcast that's been going for a number of years, and top 1% podcasts, and really unlocking the strategies and secrets of the ultra wealthy. How do they structure? How do they think about money? How do they think about investments? How do they structure portfolios? Things like that. Um, People will be surprised to see how billionaires have structured their portfolios. So it's pretty fascinating. We've written it's an actual bestseller, not like a Amazon bestseller, like a USA Today bestseller. We sold thousands of copies last year. Is Invest Like a Billionaire, same name. So Bob and Ben Fraser are two of our partners here, have written that book, and that really goes. That's more of a call it a taking conceptual into some of the tactical of looking at portfolios, there's concepts called modern portfolio theory. It's unpacking how to create non-correlation in your portfolio. So, I may have a diversified publicly traded stock portfolio of company A and company B, but if they both do up and down at the same time, you have correlation. So I may think I'm diversified, but if they do the same thing at the same time, I have more volatility than is accounted for. And so what a lot of the billionaires do is create non-correlation by having private alternatives that don't have this. They're not impacted the same way as public markets are. And so it's really democratizing how that has been executed in the billionaire portfolio, and a lot of data, a lot of detail, but very user friendly. This is again kind of trying to take something fairly complex and making that more simple. And then we have a kind of a online community of investors who by the same brand name is investlikeabillionaire.org or the Billionaire podcast.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry,
Okay.
no, actually, we just got the rights. We finally got the rights. So yeah, investlikeabillionaire.org is the place. It is. We've got the online communities. There's a school community in there, so very educational. There's no, we're not selling anything. That's a community that's free to join. We have the podcast and then the book. So I'd encourage people to just learn and learn from anywhere and everywhere that you can learn. And we're super passionate about that and making this information available to to the everyday investor, and you don't have to pay for the information.
Yeah. Well, listen, you walked me right up and sort of, I was going to say, how can people get in contact with you? But you then gave an Invest Like a Billionaire, the podcast, Invest Like a Billionaire, the book, Invest Like the Billionaire.org, which you just got the rights to. And so any other place you want people to reach out to, is there any other stuff that we can think about that we need to plug?
Yeah, well, I mean, if people are more interested on the investment side, that's really where where my day to day is mostly there is aspenfunds.us, like United States. That'll go deeper into kind of the investments and our performance and what's available, that kind of stuff. And people we're interested to engage with in this community is anybody that's interested in a conversation. We've got a lot of something kind of newer is the last few years we've started to see a lot of what we call fund to funds. So a lot of folks who've been active real estate investors themselves or are currently, they're funding their project with their investors. They may be looking for kind of complementary type investments that are, in those idle times where you maybe don't have a deal. We've got a fund manager program. So I direct all of that as well. We've been growing that and have created really significant outcomes and value for fund managers and ultimately their investors. So that would be, something interesting and top of mind that might be relevant to this community.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for coming through. Let me say 3 things to you sincerely. First, thank you for your time. You can be doing anything with your time. I'm sure you can be filling your time with so much different things right now. So thank you for sharing your time. Secondly, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for leading with authenticity, integrity, transparency. I believe stories have a way of planting seeds in people that can literally course correct, that can literally spark up different ideas. And so I really thank you for coming through, sharing your story. Lastly, thank you for your perspective, the way you think, and bringing that mindset to this platform. I greatly appreciate you being here today, Mike.
Thank you. Pleasure. Feel like I made a friend today. So I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Well, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from my new friend, right? You heard what he's involved in. You heard how he can help. Please check the show notes. The things that he mentioned, how you can get in contact with him, they're in the show notes. Connect with him, connect with the podcast. Listen, invest like a billionaire. I mean, come on. I think we all want to do that, right? I think if we did that, our lives could be so much better. So connect with him, but definitely make sure you're subscribed here because I promise we're going to continue to bring up amazing people just like Mr. Mike. So, sir, I say thank you again. And everyone else, y'all have a fantastic day.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.